Welcome to the Launch to Six podcast, a podcast about how you can launch your online business from 0 to 6 figures in 24 months or less, regardless of your prior experience. Now, here's your hosts.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the Launch to Six podcast. Today's a very, very special episode. It's the first episode we're doing for the new year. As before, our record for smashing out our podcasts on every working day of the week, so you guys get a good bout of our content. And this week we've got the three musketeers, all three of us on the podcast, and it's so crucial for us, isn't it, Tom? So how to smash your goals in 2021. Honestly, this for us is so crucial. Setting those goals, setting that vision, and then moving forwards to actually go and accomplish them. So without further ado, I've got the guys on. Hey guys, how you doing? Say hello.
Hi guys, how are you doing?
Yeah, happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year.
We've got some key points for you guys to take forwards. So number one is having a clear vision. Tom, how would you define this? This is so crucial to everything.
Yeah, for sure. I would say a vision is, for everyone listening, is how they want to see their life, because business is a part of their life. So instead of having a business vision, they must have a life vision first. There was a great book, actually. One of my real estate mentors, he actually become a good friend, Joe. One of his business partners had a book. I'm not sure if it's still out. Maybe you can check it out. It was called Lifeonaire. It's not Millionaire. It was called Lifeonaire, and that was their brand. I think they sold it in the end. But it was about how to design your lifestyle and then have your business fit in your lifestyle rather than your business overtaking your whole life. So it's designing your life. So I would say for everyone, really getting clear on what they want in life and who they want to be around, where they want to spend their time, where they want to live, what type of home they want to live in, the type of people they want around them, what do they love doing? Everyone's got different passions, because then business is a passion rather than just something to make money. So if you can have something you're passionate about and make money, then you win. At the end of the day, you win the game. Rather than a billionaire making a billion, but he hates life and he's tied to something he doesn't like, they're not really winning. So yeah, you have to figure out you're designing your life, I think.
Yeah, because time is the ultimate resource. End of the day, you do want to maximize your time. You want to maximize the time you spend doing the things you enjoy with your loved ones. You want to essentially get the most out of life as you possibly can. And I can't imagine sitting in a cubicle 9 to 5 for your entire life. It is most people's idea of that.
For sure, man.
Casper, did you have like a bit of a? Because I mean, to give you guys an idea to the audience, I mean, we're together, working together, but we're very, very individual people, and we've got very different ways of doing things. Now, I mean, Casper, have you got a process for putting that clear vision together, or is it more organic than that? Would you say?
I'd say it's a bit more organic than that. It's a flow, and it comes and goes. It's very much a creative process.
And Tom, I mean, have you got a bit more? So I know with you, you've got quite a written structure that you go through that you follow.
For sure. No, what in terms of making the vision a reality?
Yeah. Well, I mean, in creating that vision, I mean, from myself, sure. I find that it is a thing that it flows forward personally. I think what you said about creating your life vision is hugely powerful, because at the end of the day, if you die and you've got 10 grand a month coming into your account, you haven't really kind of outgoing. I mean, I had an ex-partner, a girlfriend who was saying, "Oh, you're so obsessed with money." And my view was that actually, do you know what? Money is a yardstick. It's a measure. It's what you can then do with all of that. There's no point having the money, creating that, having that stream of income, that cash in the bank, if you're not actually going to do something with it. And for some people, it's really about digging into that why and then mapping it. For me, I've got a pad sat here on the side of my desk, and every day I actually, it's a rip-off pad. So I will write down the date, my goals, and they're usually the same. They might adjust a little bit, and there'll be a SMART goal. So when, by, what it is, how much it's going to cost. And I'd just rip through that. And so I might not do it every day, but I do it best as a habit, but I'd essentially keep repeating in my head these goals.
I have that as well. So in terms of how I do it, I have in terms of, let's just say, a business vision of where I want to be, and maybe like a income goal. So I'll write it down. I like to write it down either on like a document, into a Google Doc or actually handwrite it, which works well for me when I handwrite it. And what I'll do is I will actually, not every day, but because that would be a lie, I would say probably 3 or 4 times a week, I'll rewrite that goal to make it real, because it's like that fresh feeling of writing it down again on the pad. So I'll do that. And then what I do is I listen to music and I envision. I like to envision and I like to sort of feel how it feels to be that person. For me also, in terms of creativity, what I do is I always keep open. So I don't go, this is how my life's going to be forever, because I've noticed there's always better things. So I always set my goals, but I call them open goals, where I can have them bigger or more expansive. For example, let's just say someone said, I want to hit 10 grand a month. Okay. That's someone's goal by the end of the year. That's amazing, because it means you got to get out of your comfort zone. But what if the biggest internet marketer said, hey, I want to promote your product to my 4 million person list that will probably make you $1 million in one day? So you have to keep open, and you because otherwise if you say, 10 grand a month, that's amazing, but always keep your mind expanded as well. So I like to do that. It's good to have a goal, but then always make sure you're open to even better things. If Will Smith goes, hey, I want to promote your book, because that happens. You have to be open. Yeah. You really have to be open. And that's if I'm being honest, that's how I look at things.
Yeah, it's a great point, because there's the ebb and flow, and there's that element of having real structure and a form of control. The truth being, we never really have control of our lives, but having that structure, but then actually having the flexibility to go with the flow of life, the opportunities that come up, being open to those. I think
that's the key. I think if you have that, you can be very happy and also very successful, because you're structured, but you also are open to even better.
Yeah. And just on a very, structured point, I mean, everyone's got a different way in which they do things. I heard a tip which was quite brilliant. And so a lot of people, they sort of set these goals. And the biggest, most important thing, as you said, would be life, and then that transfers to business, is then to actually work backwards to actually actionable steps. So it's all good setting this goal, this mountain here, but without having a plan how to climb that mountain, you're not really going to achieve it. Sure. I think that's really, really key.
Especially with personality types like my own, I find I tend to get distracted very easily. So having that list really outlines what I need to accomplish that day, and it allows me to prioritize. Whenever I write lists, I usually find myself making the first point to write the list itself. Therefore, when I've written the list, I've accomplished one of the things on the list, and I've already got a rolling start. So I feel that boost of accomplishment, which motivates me to go and complete the rest of the things on that list. But like you guys said, everyone has their own method. That's just what works for me in particular.
And I mean, you've just given me a beautiful final point for me to then actually roll into our next point, guys. And, this is so huge. 80-20, this is the 80% in business. And Casper, thank you. This is mindset. This is your mindset of never giving up. And it's really important to establish this from the very beginning. Mindset is that crucial thing. The moment a challenge comes up, it's that mindset. The mindset's going to overcome it. Guys, Casper, for you, you're, for me, as my close friend, as my business partner, you are one of the most happiest, hopeful, most pushing forwards people that I know. For you, what is it with that mindset element? How is it for you? And as you said, with the way your brain works, for example, it's a really interesting thing to hear from yourself.
Well, it's that vision. I always have that vision, that thing I'm aiming for. It's everything I do, I try and kind of get myself closer to achieving that vision. I'm kind of reminded of an interview with Arnold Schwarzenegger, where one of the interviewers asked him why he's so happy all the time. And his response was, every single rep, every single curl, every single squat brings me closer to achieving my vision. So that's what allows him to just spend like 4-6 hours at the gym. I mean, I'm not saying go do that. That's extreme. That's athlete level, but for some people that's their vision. That's what drives them. So he wants to be the strongest and the most muscular athlete in the world. And I mean, I want to build the most successful business I possibly can. We've got different visions. But everything I'm doing, every single email I write, every single server I configure, I know that I'm getting one step closer to achieving my long-term vision.
No, I love that. And I mean,
I love the quote. Actually, it's a great quote. If you don't have a vision, you become a part of someone else's vision, because that's what a lot of people do in their jobs, because they're working for a CEO, business owner that wanted to have employees so he could delegate the jobs he didn't like or she didn't like. One little thing is a quick actionable thing. I like to write down my action list the night before. I've done that for the last probably 3 or 4 years. It's an incredible thing. And I like to focus on, because we never get our whole to-do list done. So I'll focus on what are the 5 things that have to get done. And then all the other stuff, if I get them 5 highlighted things done, that's amazing. All the other stuff, I then go, what's important? And I put that onto tomorrow's list. So I'm always making sure that I'm getting the big 5 things done. And yeah, just keep it simple. And then keep things simple. All successful people, they have a very simple practice.
Yeah.
And it never makes money.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, Tom, equally, guys, I'm maybe repeating myself, but I feel really privileged to have the 2 business partners that I do. Both, Tom, one of the most driven, happy people, pushing forwards, motivated people, I should correct myself, in terms of kind of mindset. Tom, what is it for you? Because I know, we've been through ups and downs in life and business, and you've always come back stronger, my man. So what is it for you?
Yeah.
How is it that you have this that drives you?
Yeah, no, for sure. I just, because for me, the way I look at things is, life is very short. So I see it as a privilege to be in the position I was in. For me, I, grew up extremely poor from a council estate welfare, wherever you're listening to this. So for me, I've already been in very dark, crappy situations, not just very terrible situations. So for me, I always saw it, I just must get better. So I said, what's the worst case scenario? So I always look at the worst case scenarios. And then I also just like to try new things. I just keep pushing forward, keep myself motivated and keep trying new things and keep exploring. Yeah. And then also realizing that what's the worst case scenario? Because life is very short. There's a window of time to maximize your potential. And a lot of people go, oh, I don't want to do this because this could happen, this negative thing, but you're going to lose it all anyway. So why not go absolutely all in? So my focus is all in. And also from not an egoic point of view, but I want to do things. I want to be the best I can be in my field, and not better than anyone else, but I want to be the best. I like to look how can I be innovative? Because people get lazy. They think they idolize other people and they think them people are always better than them. I don't see it like that. I see them as inspirations, but I see them as little props to make me become the best. So I can become the best. So it's always
a wise person once said, the only person you should compare yourself to is yourself.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Something to tell the audience, when you guys get to sort of work with us, and I've had the privilege of working with Tom now for quite a while, and there's a couple of things that I always remember of working with Tom. One being, there's anything that's happening and you're like, what's the challenge? Straight away, that's Tom's catchphrase. What's the challenge? You address it, you bring it forward, you go on to the next. And that's that's been such a key thing that I always remember. The other thing being, and this is really interesting, guys, is your use of language. So, there's in even in the minutest things, right? Like, okay, how are we going to overcome this? Oh, versus this is a problem. And the what's the challenge thing is a perfect example of that. Is rather than looking at things negatively, and I'm guilty, we're all guilty of it, actually going at the challenge, saying, right, okay, so how are we going to overcome this? Understanding the use of language. So you set a goal, it'd be nice to go to Hawaii this year. No, right, we are going to Hawaii at this point this year. This is what we have to do to overcome it. And even down to that subtle detail of language, I think it's been huge in mindset.
Language is massive with clients, because a lot of what you said there, Thomas, was massive, because a lot of people, they don't go, so I like to so people go, that's too optimistic. No, what I do is I do this. I say, what could stop us in our minds that would stop us from going there? There's always limitations. There's never limitations out there unless you're in jail. Okay, well, that's a limitation, but most people no one's there. So I always say, what would stop you? So I would have clients, I say, you're going to get there. Okay, great. Well, I would ask them on a mentoring session, one-on-one. I would say, that's great. You want to make 20 grand a month, 10 grand, 5 grand. Amazing. I said, here's the plan. I said, by the way, what would stop you from doing that? and I go silent for a few minutes, all of their stuff comes to, well, this person, I don't know about the money. I don't think I'm skilled enough here. I'm not very good on video. And there's all these limitations that they buy into that have got them to where they want to be. And they cherish them almost like they're gods. It's like, oh, well, I don't think I can do that. It's like, well, you want to change it though, right? So it can be difficult. The difficult thing of people hitting them goals is their own beliefs. I think that's the biggest thing that holds anyone back is belief.
I think, yeah, a lot of people pedestalize. And fun enough, guys, this brings me really nicely to driving this podcast forwards. Our next thing, the next thing that's going to help you smash your goals in 2021, we've covered mindset, we've covered having a clear vision, and Tom alluded to that in his last point. Mentoring, having somebody there who's going to drive. I mean, Tom, out of the three of us, you've been the one who's been a mentor for the longest. You've been mentored. I mean, we've all had our mentors. I mean, from your perspective, why is this so important? You know, why is having a mentor so important?
I think there's a few things. I think the first is experience knowledge. So when I say experience knowledge, is that person has gone through, they've already learned, they've been there, they've done it, they've overcome things, they know what to do, and they've laid out a blueprint. If you're learning from a good mentor that is ethical and really giving you the steps, they have got the steps because they've walked up Mount Everest. They didn't read a book about Mount Everest, about going to the top of the summit, and then now they're regurgitating that. They've been there and done it. So you're learning from someone that has climbed Mount Everest. You want to listen to what that person says. You do not want to listen to someone who's read a textbook about it, believe me, because when your life is on the line, right? So that's how you should think about your business. You should think about your business that your life's on the line. Otherwise, you're not going to become successful because there's too many things. Your emotions are temptations that will go, don't do it today. We all have it. I have it. And when I listen to that, I become least successful. So get a mentor that will push you and hold you accountable. I recommend join our mentoring. Book a call, click the link and arrange a call, because it's not that we're better than everyone else. There's some phenomenal people out there. But we will hold you accountable to what you say. And we will drive you. And I don't really take excuses from clients. You know, I tell them, it's like, well, you're going to fail. And then they go, oh, I don't want failure. So, okay, do this. It's like a personal trainer, right? And I just think it's important. The personal trainer metaphor is probably the best. If you want to get in shape, hire a trainer, follow what they say, and they will hold you accountable. And when you invest as well, what happens is you've got some skin in the game. So I think that's the power of investing in mentoring. I know people say, of course you say that, but come on, guys. Nothing in life is free. If you want something, you need to put some money into it, or you need to put sweat equity into it.
Yeah. And I mean,
what do you think?
It's like saying, I want to climb Mount Everest. What's the cheapest rope I can buy? What's the cheapest carabiners I can get away with? Like, can I get away with like this cheap equipment, these cheap shoes? Like, can I wear my trainers?
If it's worth accomplishing, there's a price to pay, but there's also a price of debt if you don't do it, which is, let's just say business, you're working in a job you really don't like, and then you go, I've missed 20 years of time I could have done it. So I always say to myself and my clients, when it gets really frustrating or things aren't working, which happens, guys, let's be honest, it's always going to happen. You're never going to be able to lift every weight that you want to hit. So someone goes, I want to hit 20 grand a month, and they only hit 3,000, which they went from 0 to 3, which is still great. But you will hit 20,000 or more, but it takes some time. Like, just give it another year, give it another 18 months. Don't quit immediately and run back to your job, especially if you hate your job. What's the worst case scenario? You only make 1,000 a month for 12 months or for 2 years. And then you eventually, after 3 years, replace your income. Well, 3 years is going to go like that anyway. So why not build a side business?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's a very internal thing. This is very deep. We could do many podcasts.
Yeah. No, guys, you're getting a bumper episode to bring you in and get you crushing 2021. And final point, guys, and that is with mentoring, but the accountability. Now, I'm really proud of that, because this particular point, especially at Launch 6 at Menacing Media, the three of us, we keep each other accountable. We wouldn't be pushing this business forward at this rate, growing, if we didn't keep each other accountable. And for me personally, putting this forward, with having proper partners, people who are going to hold you accountable. It can be your mentor. It can be someone you've invested with. It can be a family member. You know, if they can honestly call you out with love and, you know, really kind of remind you, tell you this is happening. This is one of the biggest things to success, honestly.
Yes. Oh, I'm so glad you said that. That's positive feedback, because there's criticism, negative criticism, and then there's helpful, constructive. I don't like to say criticism. I like to say, let's push forward together. Let's move forward. It's feedback. Is that, hey, we need to do this. Great. Let's do this. And that's why I think most people don't have that in their families and lives. I had none of that. So get in a group. Suck up the money, pay the money. If it's to us or someone else, I recommend you do us, book a call, and we'll help you for free. And then we'll invite you to join our mentoring, because you need to learn from people that have been there and done it, and they still do it today. And they've overcome challenges. I've had days, I've had hundreds of thousands stolen from me. I've made hundreds of thousands in a day. So like I've been there, I've done it. I've had horrible things. I've had an amazing thing. Same as Thomas, same as Casper. We've all had our life experiences. So learn from people that have been there, done it, and they still do it today, and they care about you. All of our clients that come into our mentorship, we want you to succeed. So we actually want you to do well. We don't want you to be scrolling forums, go, is this person a scam? And then that person goes, yeah, they are. Or yes, this Joe Blogs is a scam. And then but what's their alternative? What are they giving you to help you reach your goals? Nothing, apart from moaning. So get on to a mentorship. I really think ours or someone else's, just please join one.
It's the power of positive peer pressure. Having that other person there who's driving you, and this is, as I say, positively, holding positively accountable. I remember my first business coach. You know, I invested in working with her. She was a ex-CEO of IBM. Really incredible lady, but that was one of the biggest things that she did. I achieved my initial goals because I was scared of her whipping my ass. Like it was that simple. But honestly, and I'm so thankful for what she did in terms of me learning. And this is a while ago now, but it was honestly having that accountability was one of the biggest things. This is one of the reasons that first time businesses fail. It might be a solopreneur and they're out on their own. They hit the first challenge in the first couple of weeks, or they lose money, or or something just doesn't happen as they expected it to happen, and they go, "Oh, do you know what? I'll go back to my job. It's easier."
You're right there, Thomas, because a mentor, what they get you to focus on, this is what I've taught my clients when they're about to quit. And then we've had some clients about to quit and they made 100,000, like 12 months later, or they're just, we're just had some crazy success stories over the years. But what people do is everyone's scared of losing something, losing their family's approval, losing their friends' approval, losing money. They're always scared of losing, but you're going to lose that all anyway one day. But what you work, which is true, right? Everyone shares that truth. But here's the thing. Here's what's really important, though, is most people, they can always measure what they lose, but they can never measure how much they will gain. They can't see that. They can't see that they could make $1 million, or even if you replace your income at your job and you've made that money, well, then your brain can't trick you now. If you've made $3,000 or $4,000 a month, which is the average salary worldwide, well, how can your brain trick you now? Because you've already made it. So you just need to get back your habits, which Thomas and Casper have shared what they do, and get in the flow. There's no right or wrong to this, but you do need accountability. You really do. If you don't have that, and you're not like Michael Phelps, self-motivated, even though he had coaches, it's going to be really, I have to say, guys, 2021 could be even.
Didn't his parents send him to swimming camp to help contain his ADHD or control it? I think.
Yeah, so he did.
He had all of this energy, and he just it was unfocused. And I think his parents or his teacher I can't remember, but somebody suggested swimming, and he just used all of that energy and focused it on his swimming. And essentially,
he did have pushing. He did have people that drive.
But yeah, he had that driving force behind him.
Yeah, in some cases, I mean, that's a very valid point. In some cases, it may be that you might have the energy, the excitement, but it's about funneling that, and that can sometimes be that one conversation with a good mentor. Seriously, and it there've been those changing conversations, and it's with the right people.
Can I leave this as a quick 1-minute story? I was working at GNC, dusting off I was making $6.75 an hour. This is 2012. So that was the minimum wage in the UK. Everyone that I was reading the 4-Hour Work Week from Tim Ferriss, wanting to start an online business, and I got into real estate in the end. And everyone told me that would come in and go, what are you up to? I go, I'm going to quit my job. Because I was quite naive. I was like, I'm going to quit my job. And they're like, oh, great. You know, when they look at you and give you that, like, yeah, right. They're not honest, but they really think, oh man, you're an idiot. You know, but how can you do real estate when you're 21 years old? You know what I mean? And then this guy, I remember this guy, good looking guy, tan skin, very confident, always on the phone. And he would always come in and buy £400 worth of supplements. I always noticed this guy. He said, what are you up to? And I said, I remember this guy clearly. It was back in Windsor where I grew up. He said to me, what are you up to? I told the same thing. Oh, I'm looking to quit my job in 2 or 3 months and get started in real estate. He went, best thing you'll ever do, tons of money in that. You're going to do great. It's awesome. Cheers. Goodbye. Fast forward a year later, I had quit my job. In the restaurant next to me was this guy talking about how he retired at 30 and now is a multimillionaire and is looking for new business opportunities. He'd been there and done that. He's already been successful.
Love it.
So he told me, of course you can do that. He was the only one out of probably 50 people.
I love that. And again, just that point, it might be just one of those conversations that changes your life.
He never knew that. So
I love it.
This isn't a brag. I've helped a lot of people make money. I've done pretty good. I've made some great friends, learned so much from that conversation. He doesn't even know. So he was an indirect mentor. I didn't pay him. But so it's really powerful, guys. I know everyone keeps thinking they're listening to this podcast. Of course, you're going to say it because you sell mentoring. But that aside, honestly, everyone, like, it's just really powerful to get someone that is more knowledgeable and willing to share that knowledge in your area.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, guys, just to wrap it off, I mean, we've gone through some really key points for you guys to smash 2021, your goals. So you have a clear vision. It's really important. Get your mindset right. And that could be a daily routine. That could be a daily ritual. You know, never give up. There's the 80-20. There's the 80% in business. It's certainly my belief. Think about Arnie. I love that. That was a great point.
Don't quit, man. Please.
You know, no, definitely. Mentoring. That's a really important thing. Invest in yourself. Why make X years worth of mistakes, 5, 10, whatever years worth of mistakes, when you could learn from someone else's 5 + 10, whatever it is, years worth of mistakes? So important. That was exactly what my movement said.
You're going to lose. I'm going to spend 5 or 6K or a couple of thousand or 1,000, and I'm going to lose that. Well, if you just be logical, if you just sell one course you're going to get the money back anyway. But then from another point of view, what about if in the next 3 years, if you could have made 100 grand a year, where you've lost 300 grand in opportunity cost? So you've actually lost 300,000.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So think about it in those terms, guys. What is there on the line? What could you gain? You know, that's huge. And then finally, accountability. Think Michael Phelps. I thought Casper, that was an awesome point as well. Like, you know, the guy had bags of energy. He's clearly very talented. It was the accountability of his mentors and his coach that drove and helped him channel that energy into success. So I'm going to leave it at that, guys. As always, check out the Launch 6 forum, check that out on Facebook, come find us, come say hi, and as always, book in a call, say hi, and you know, whatever we can do to help you on your journey, we're here for you, and we're here for you in 2021. So guys, thank you so much. We'll catch you on the next episode. Take care. All right, bye-bye.